Dr. Ed Horgan. Este congreso nació hace 3 años, mientras él y yo estamos teniendo una conversación sobre su doctorado, cómo modificar el ONU y cómo implementar la neutralidad. Tuvimos una conversación grande y como un año después de esta conversación salió la idea de este congreso. Entonces quiero reconocer a él de su parte en agradecer por este congreso. Gracias, Ed. Dr. Vladimir Kozin es ruso, es un miembro de la Academia Militar de Ciencias Militar de Rusia, la Academia de Ciencias Naturales de Rusia y vicepresidente del Instituto Nacional para Investigaciones Globales de Seguridad. Y tiene ese que decir sobre la neutralidad. Pero voy a leer en inglés, porque él escribió en inglés. Dear organizers and participants in the conference, there is no doubt that your forum has an applied, practical agenda. It is dictated by the fact that in the world there still remain huge zones of instability and aggression, as well as regions witnessing barbaric genocidal policies. This agenda is caused by the fact that the Cold War has not disappeared, but has acquired a qualitatively new and more dangerous dimension. There are at least 3 key manifestations of such a Cold War, numbered 2.0. The first feature is the almost complete abandonment of the process of conventional and nuclear arms control process. For example, the US still has a negative view on 15 bilateral and multilateral arms control treaties, and still has no intention of finding mutually acceptable solutions in this process. The second feature is aggressive operations and large-scale wars waged by proxy elements and conducted via direct armed invasions. These proxy wars consist of huge arms deliveries to aggressive regimes totaling more than $150 billion US. The third manifestation is the policy of unjustified trade, economic, and financial sanctions arbitrarily imposed by individual countries. For example, the total number of such sectoral and personal sanctions enforced against Russia exceeds 15,000. Dear colleagues, your forum meets in the year of the tragic 25th anniversary of the barbaric and unprovoked massive bombings in Yugoslavia in the spring of 1999 by NATO military pact. They resulted in enormous civilian casualties and the destruction of many civilian infrastructure. It is the same transatlantic alliance unleashed in armed aggression with the help of Ukraine against its citizens in Donbass in 2014, and then continued it against Russia after Crimea. Donbass and Novorossiya joined it after respective referenda. During last 2024 presidential elections, their population confirmed their will to live in Russia. Moscow did not initiate such aggression. On the contrary, it seeks to put an end to this external aggression. Unfortunately, such aggression arranged by Ukraine and NATO that began in 2014 is still ongoing against Russia and its people. Initiated as a proxy war, it has already turned into direct NATO aggression against Russia. There are so many facts that can prove the scope of such aggression. To save time, I put them into an annex attached to my written remarks. You may later read if you so desire. Russia will not accept the idea of NATO's Expeditionary Corps to be sent to Ukraine, as well as the expansion of the deployment of US nuclear weapons in forward deployed zones in Eastern and Southern Europe. True that Russia has already deployed tactical nuclear weapons in Belarus and has put the Russian nuclear forces on high alert. But Moscow has no intention of using tactical nuclear weapons in Ukraine. Russia can only use its nuclear weapons if its existence is threatened from outside. This was publicly stated by President Vladimir Putin on March 13, 2024. Russia will do its utmost to prevent a nuclear Armageddon on our planet, divert a new war on the European continent, and will not permit an eruption of the Third World War at large. Dear colleagues, your conference has four main objectives set out in the invitation to its participants. For this reason, I will not read them. And there should not be any neutrality to any aggression or fueling deadly weapons in the zone of conflicts. There must not be any neutrality to the proliferation of nuclear weapons across the globe. However, there should be bona fide neutrality to any kind of elections conducted in foreign countries. These goals are clear and must be realized. There could be a fair question, can these goals be brought about? I believe they can. This requires an understanding of the causes of violence, aggression, and war, and the identification of the authors and sponsors of such dangerous actions. It also requires the goodwill and unity of progressive and peace-loving citizens all over the world who will stand up to the destructive militaristic elites who are constantly putting humanity on the brink of catastrophe. Signed, Vladimir Kozin, Vice President, Russian National Institute for Global Security Research and corresponding member of the Academy of Military Sciences of Russia. He thanks you.